Hello dear listeners, hello dear friends, and today we continue talking with my friend Steven about different things, and I think our interview today with Steven will be especially useful because we will be talking about English and its application in life. So, hello, Steven.
Hello, Alex. How are you there in Pushkino?
I'm fine, and how are you there?
All well. Another beautiful day, yes.
Oh, by the way, it's beautiful morning. What time is it now there, where you are?
It's already 8:30 in the morning, so plenty of things to do today. Looking forward to a wonderful day here in Mexico.
Oh, wow. Okay, I envy you a bit because when we usually talk about English, we usually think about traveling, and we usually think about geography, and that's why when you told me that you would like to teach children using English and geography, I was fascinated with this idea. But my first question to you, it's a general question. How long have you been teaching students?
Oh, students in general, well, through English as a foreign language, English as a second language. It's been a good 9 years now I've been teaching, whether it's one-on-one classes, Skype classes, classes in schools, universities,
okay.
In people's homes, people coming into my home.
Okay.
And the most interesting for me has been the through Skype classes, because with Skype, as people know, you can contact, be in communication with people from around the world. And for me as a geographer, as my profession, that interests me the most, because it is not just the teaching and learning of English. For me, it's also getting to know the individual and where they're from, their culture, their way of life. And it's fun for me and interesting for me to hear, oh, what's for breakfast in Brazil? Or what is it like today in Moscow?
Okay.
Or what's the difference when you go to an event in Japan rather than in the United States, and so on. And the different cultural aspects, the physical geography, but more so the human geography aspect. So it's kind of a give and take. They learn English, I learn the culture, and it's a win-win situation, both English and geography.
All right, so you mentioned student from Brazil and other students. So from which countries around the world do you teach students?
Oh, well, first of all, Russia.
Okay,
and they highlight that. It's been wonderful experience. My 4 or 5 years now teaching with students in Russia.
Okay.
Wonderful students.
Good.
I've also have students from Japan, France, Spain, Cuba, Brazil, Uruguay. I'm sure I'm missing a few. I can't even remember anymore.
Okay.
Exactly
okay.
where they're all from. But from all different continents, all different backgrounds. Backgrounds in not just language, but cultural backgrounds, religious backgrounds, family backgrounds. All very interesting to hear and listen and to learn about them and their way of life.
I appreciate your willingness to teach Russian students, and I don't know how students from other countries react. I think only positive reactions, but Russian students always so excited to go to Steven's classes because I think it's some kind of intrigue. They usually listen to teachers, very nice teachers at the Russian schools, but at any moment, at any time, they can switch from English to Russian, and it's not so difficult for them to be relaxed. But when they meet a real native speaker, we usually say it's a barrier, it's an obstacle, because it's sometimes a bit nervous. And thank you very much for that point, that they are so happy to go to classes to you. And talking about English and its application, when you told me I would like to teach English through geography, I supported it with all my heart, because what do we usually hear? We usually hear a question, where are you from? It's geography. I'm from Russia, and what part of Russia? Russia is so big. Or I'm from France, or I'm from Mexico. So tell us about your ideas about this project, English through geography.
English through geography. It's the passion is the English, and the teaching is, the passion is the geography, and the teaching is the English. And in this sense, where I can relate the geography to anybody in any language, any country, you're right. You can ask, where are you from? I'm from Russia. It doesn't end there. Where in Russia? From Moscow. In Moscow or close to Moscow? Oh, from Pushkino or another town nearby. But it doesn't just end there. Geography is an underlying subject. It covers so many grounds. Because now we can talk about, well, why is Moscow where it is? It's the capital, but where did it begin? Why is it there? And we look at the historical geography beyond that. Then we might look at some of the tourist sites of Moscow. So that's tourism. That's geography again. Then we can start talking about the cultural geography. Why do you do things the way you do? Oh, because my parents did it that way. But why? And go back through the roots and the heritage. That too is human geography and cultural geography. And then we can talk about other matters. How does Russia relate to other countries? Maybe trade and transportation, political geography. All of these are just disciplines of geography as a whole. And each of these topics we can talk about at any different level, as a beginner or as a young student, a young age or more advanced. And new language is introduced, language of English, but also the words of geography. And again, I mentioned the different ages. It could be a young adult, young student of 7, 8, 9 years old, maybe with no geography background at all in a school in Russia. Or maybe someone who's already 14, 15, 16, who's had already a geography class or 2 or 3. So we can teach it at different levels, different age groups, and different levels of English as well. My goal in the end is not necessarily only to advance the English, but to learn the geography. And if students learn the geography in English, maybe they can take that knowledge and apply it in their geography classes in their respective schools and say, oh, I know this already. I know it in English, but I know why Moscow is located where it is. And now I can talk about this and hopefully get better grades. And maybe they'll be happier, the parents will be happier. Maybe even in the end, 1 or 2 or 3 students from these English classes will say, oh, this is great. I want to be a geographer. I want to learn how to make maps. I want to learn more about the world and travel, etc. Spark interest in people and students and adults alike. So good. Let's not just restrict this to young students. Bring in the adults as well. Bring in their parents. They need to learn too about the world, and that's geography, Alex.
Wow. So we have been working in education for many years. Neither of us have a special degree. I mean, pedagogical degree.
Right.
But I hope, you exactly, and probably me, we are people of wide interests, wide size, and thank you very much that you widen the minds of students, because sometimes they are so limited in their knowledge. And again, I appreciate your project, because I think that it's much more valuable to give different kind of knowledge, not only knowledge of English in a pure form. Of course, it's nice to say that I have got a mother, a father, and a cat, and I know grammar, I know structure, I can listen, but you give broadening knowledge, and so it's nice, absolutely. And my question about special interests, what kind of field in geography especially interesting for you?
Oh, okay, that's good. As you mentioned, to broaden, and geography is a wide area. And my original interest in geography is something called cartography.
Okay.
Cartography is the making of maps. It's a combination of science and art.
Good.
And I call myself a cartographer. That was my profession for many, many years before I transitioned over into teaching English. But I still call myself a cartographer. I still call myself a geographer.
Okay.
But I think more of my interest of late lies in the area, the split in geography between physical geography, like landscapes, volcanoes, and so on, into the human geography side. And learning about people, how they interact with other people, the relationships of people, the cultural background. So that might be a huge emphasis in these classes, but I will talk about the physical side, the natural disasters, the development of the natural field. When we go out in nature and we look around us and what we see, people have interest in that. We'll have topics in that, but we'll have topics in the cultural side, the human side. There's almost an endless list of things we can talk about, and the interconnection between geography and history. We can go beyond geography and literature. We can go geography and, you put in the second half of that. Geography and whatever, we can find a relationship. So it excites me to offer these classes through your wonderful school. I have great ideas and a combination of some of the basics, the rudimentary teaching methods, and the more advanced into the technology of today. And students like that. Students of today need the hands-on approach, the computerized, and I hope to introduce some of that as well, making maps, interaction with maps, and hopefully the responses to critical thinking, spatial thinking questions. Let's get these students to think about the why is something here. Why do we do this? There's the idea that geography is only the where. It's also the why behind. Why are we there? Why is your school located in Pushkino? That's geography.
It's geography. And even when you told them at last lesson, probably it's a funny thing, something about Kremlin and something about Moscow and something about Russia, and they didn't know obvious things. You opened eyes for some sites inside Russia. So I hope we will start of geography of Russia, Russian geography, and again it's a crossing between geography, you mentioned literature, and I can add history, and it's a combination of general knowledge which expands their minds, and I'm so excited to start these classes in September. And let's hope we will record some of the interview with you before that, but let's say hello, let's say goodbye to our listeners. Thank you very much for your time, and see you probably at the end of the week, and we will record something again. Good. Have a nice day, Steven. Thank you so much.
September 1st. Classes start in Russia, and let's start our classes that day as well.
Right.
I hope to bring in a lot of students and a lot of interest in these classes. And thank you, Alex, for your time today as well.
Okay, so appreciate being with you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.